Hey everybody, welcome to High Shelf Gaming. We're going to be playing some Werewolf the Apocalypse tonight. I am super pumped because we got our fourth player in. We have one more player to add to the bunch. I'm looking forward to that one too. So yeah, we are going to be doing some Werewolf the Apocalypse Rage across Seattle. Like Vampire has the place by night, right? That's their gig. Chicago by night or LA by night or whatever. And then in Werewolf, it was always rage across some plot of land. The Amazon, Chicago. They have a lot of Chicago supplements for some reason. And then, so this is, of course, Rage Across Seattle. We are going to be doing a homebrew setting. So anybody who is joining us from like the classic World of Darkness scene, and you're like, awesome, I totally want to watch how the Shadow Lord and the Silver Fang get on. There's none of that here. There are no tribes. There is no litany because 10 years ago the werewolves lost, and there haven't been Geru on the planet for about that time. They're all wiped out. We have no idea what happened to them, and all of a sudden, these three or four humans, one day just got awoken, and you've all been gathered together by an elderly lady. She's advanced in years. She is still a practicing therapist, but just kind of does it so that she's not retired, right? Is kind of her, like, stay busy so you don't slow down kind of thing. That's Thea Albright. And she's a Seattle resident as well and has kind of made it her life's work to find and gather, if Geru ever show up again in her lifetime, to be there and be ready. And fortunately for you all, she was in a good place to find you and bring you all together. We are Before we get too far into the game, though, I want to make a couple of High Shelf Gaming announcements and kind of introduce everybody. So this is High Shelf Gaming. This is a Twitch stream and YouTube page, and we do a podcast as well. We are streaming Werewolf tonight. This is a monthly game. And then, hey, chat. Hey, everybody. And then we are going to be doing tomorrow night. We do our Blades in the Dark game, which is a weekly game of scumbag and skullduggery in a demon infested or ghost infested city. Lots of fun. Very dangerous. Thursday night this week, we are doing a world building session with the folks from Legend Keeper and one of their friends, this gentleman by the name of Adam. So we're going to do a bunch of discussions around probably like generating buildings and generating monsters and that kind of thing. That seems to be Adam's focus. We'll get into that on Thursday. Saturday is going to be Cyberpunk Red. And so we do lots of stuff on stream, and a bunch of that makes it over to YouTube, like this will be on YouTube. Joining me tonight are our four players for the campaign so far. We have a fifth coming. Super excited for that. We have Katrina playing Riley. And we have Casey playing Dakota Star. Yeah. And then we have Cyberwolf. What is it? Cyberwolf 20...
1201.
1201. There it is. The one was skinny for me. So yeah, the 1201. Thank you, Cyberwolf. Playing Logan. And then joining us tonight for the first time is Tell from Hell playing. Pronounce your character's name for me one more time.
Karan.
Karan.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Glad to finally be here. Excited to play with you guys.
Yeah, excited to have you too. So this is a project that we've been working on for a number of weeks and months now at this stage. And this is a really fun concept to me of just like, what happens when you have werewolves without other werewolves to back them up? And they're incredibly powerful, but alone and without backup. So this will be fun. And I think that I am the only one who's played a lot of Werewolf the Apocalypse. Tell from Hell, Karam, have you played much Werewolf before?
I haven't played Werewolf. I'm relatively familiar with World of Darkness. I have some background with Vampire, with Mage.
Perfect.
But no, this is going to be totally new to me, so it's going to be interesting.
Beautiful. I love it. Okay, good. Well then, let's get started. We are going to be again in Seattle every weekend. every weekend we have an invite from Thea to spend some time in her kind of wooded cabin. It's just outside of Seattle on the I'll ping on the map, just over. Well, it's not quite to Newcastle. It's like right here off this highway, I believe. So it's on the other side of the big reservoir here, or big lake here next to Seattle, just south of Newcastle, kind of in the woods. And you all have your day jobs, your lives, the things that you do in and around Seattle to stay afloat. And then every weekend or so, you make your way out to the cabin to spend some time with Thea, hear about what she knows of Geru, what she knows of the Umbra and of the world of supernaturals. And it's one of those old cabins that has tons of rooms. It's 2 stories, with like a cellar down below with probably some wine and foods and that kind of thing. And she is in a cabin in the woods. She owns all the land around her, so it's a pretty secluded, private place where you all can, try changing forms, try various things, whatever you want to do to kind of get used to the fact that you are who you are. I'm going to say last week was the last session we had. So a week ago, 3 of you were out here and got into a little bit of stuff, right? Did a little bit of exploration of the Umbra, maybe got a little lost, but we found our way home, and then went into.
Not all of us. One of us got lost. The other 2 saved him.
It's true. It's true. There's a little bit of that going on.
Not to throw anybody under the bus, but somebody was about to get hit by a bus.
Yes, exactly.
Or eaten by a giant whale, shark, demon thing.
Yes.
Par for the course.
Yeah.
Par for the course for my characters.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah. And then you all came back, you rallied, and Thea had let you know about of a mystery that she had been tracking. She had all the little newspaper clippings of some disappearances up at Echo Lake, way far north. You all went and handled that, kind of figured out what the problem was, this corrupted sea creature that had found its way into this like mountain lake and was consuming things, people, animals, whatever made its way into the water, it consumed. And you all fought it and bested it, and now you've had like kind of a week to go back to normal, having experienced that, and now are back at Thea's cabin the following, Friday evening, kind of deal. And when you get there, you've got Karan there, and you've probably met Karan before, but they weren't able. He wasn't able to be here last week, but is here this week now. So we'll just start off with you all at the cabin. There's some snacks out. Thea likes to take care of everybody. She maybe has a little southern hospitality going where she must feed everyone, but is otherwise out of y'all's hair and letting you all kind of reconnect with each other today.
Definitely grabbing some snacks. Probably just pulled a bowl of whatever into my lap, and I'm like sitting cross-legged on the couch or something.
Yeah, she probably has an assortment of things, like everything from like popcorn to veggies to like beef jerky. Whatever it is people like. If she kind of knows some of your dietary preferences, she probably has a snack for that. Like, I don't know, dried seaweed strips or whatever it is that your characters are into. She's probably figured that out by now and has appropriate snacks for everybody laid out.
Logan carefully takes something that is best described as just a shit ton of kale.
Just a heap of it.
Just a bunch of kale.
Yes, perfect.
Dakota would have some jerky, just kind of chewing on it like a stick of jerky, while he has his sketch pad out working on his next big piece that he's going to put in the city. That may or may not have things that he saw while he was in the Umbra.
Sweet. That's exciting. So you've got some elements that maybe you remembered through the mists or what have you.
You know,
Cool.
giant deer head, giant fish thing, mountains.
Karan is probably sitting on like an armchair or maybe a couch, and he's sitting there with a laptop out, eating nothing but just kind of like sipping on a bottle of water. He was maybe working on something like 5 seconds ago, but now his eyes are completely locked onto the pile of kale that that's being carried away from the table, and then he's kind of in awe at the size of this thing.
Sure. Could you describe Karan for us?
Sure. Yeah. So he's not a very like physically imposing guy. He's of average height. He's maybe like about 5'11", 6 feet, but definitely like very kind of like wiry in build. Very unassuming, very ordinary looking to the eye. Hair's maybe a little bit messy. His general appearance is maybe a tad disheveled, but not like completely not put together. It's very much kind of like the, I guess, like erratic genius kind of like vibe, if that makes sense.
Awesome. Love it. So yeah, I'm trying to think of things that are going on. You know, news of Echo Lakes like being clean again hasn't even reached people so far. Like, it is still a place that has a bit of a reputation for being haunted or where people disappear from. But probably at the end of this week, there are some social posts from folks saying, hey, had a great weekend at Echo Lake, didn't get nabbed, hashtag survivor, hashtag whatever, right? Just like having some fun with it. Checking in safe at Echo Lake is like just now starting to creep in on like a Thursday kind of thing. So that's the only newest news that you all have from last week.
Yeah, you missed the party last week. Karan, we took care of an eel thing, which was interesting.
We caught a fish and it was this big, I swear.
An eel thing at Echo Lake. Oh boy.
Yeah.
And you said it was this big?
A little bit bigger.
A little bit bigger. Wow.
Yeah, you guys were in war form
like
when you
this
fought
big.
it. So I mean, like it was you were in war form and it was wrapped up all around your arm. So I mean, like, to call it a giant, I mean, that's appropriate because it was huge. Just you were 11 feet tall at the time of like fighting it. So yeah, it was giant for sure.
Was it this? And it remind me, this was the same like type of creature that ate us in our dream.
So it what you saw in your pack vision was this huge scaled, like prehistoric prehistoric fish monster creature thing, right? What you saw in the lake resembled it in like maybe some facial structure, and that like big glass yellow eye was very familiar to you, but it lacked some of the huge spines across the back and the spines along the sides. It was very much more of an eel shaped creature that you fought. Okay. But definitely the facial structure was like a dead giveaway of maybe a descendant of that creature that you fought, or that you saw in your dream, I should say.
God, I gotta say, it's not that I don't believe you. I believe you 100%. I guess I'm still having a little bit of trouble wrapping my head around the fact that stuff like gigantic monster eels at Echo Park can even exist.
You think that's something? Wait until you go into the trip that is the Umbra. Like,
let me tell you.
You definitely can wait before you go into the Umbra.
Go as a group.
Not a place to trifle. As a group,
I'll take your word for it.
There are spiders as big as like the Seattle Needle, just chilling in that place.
Well, that's like the weird part you went into. I'm talking about the place where it's like one hell of an acid trip. Like, such a good acid trip. That part, pretty cool.
See, I never got that. None of the little fuzzy creatures showed up for me. It was just like, hey, let's just go into the sky. And then a giant deer is like, hey, I was like, hey, show me the way. And it took me to what we killed in like giant form. You know, like Pokemon Gaia Max or whatever. It was like that compared to what we killed. It tried to eat me.
I preferred Mega Evolution.
That Mega Evolution is pretty good.
What are you talking about?
Oh, Pokemon. It's like fake us.
Huh? Whatever.
Never mind.
So let me get this straight. So the Umbra is, so it's like Pokemon on acid, and the really bad part has giant spiders. Is that am I getting this figured out?
Pretty much. I mean, that's
Roughly,
as best as a grasp as we've gotten.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Is Thea in the room, and how much have we just how much are we
Killed her
failing this
soul.
test?
Yeah, I think it's fun for Thea to be like, not in this room, but like in an adjoining room reading a book or something like that, and she's just kind of like, maybe a little bit snickering to herself because she knows that you all have to figure all this out, right? And that there's only so much she can show you, but she probably is drawing a lot of humor by the like way in which y'all are describing everything. So yeah, she's nearby and could probably overhear some of this conversation. And if you wanted to bring her in, she would be there, but otherwise she's giving you all your space.
Hey, so I've seen you guys around. I can't say I've really had the chance to speak to you. It seems like whenever I'm here, you're not, and vice versa for the most part. I guess since we're all here and we all have this weird, scary thing in common, I guess I might as well introduce myself. Karan's going to stand up and kind of like walk over to whoever's closest. Hi, I'm Karan, and he's going to hold out his hand to be shaken.
Yeah, Logan will reach out, shake it. Logan.
Okay, cool. Nice to meet you.
The same.
He would Dakota would get up and kind of like pat him on the back after that and be like, Dakota Star, hopefully to be famous one day as a great artist.
Karan stumbles just a little bit from the force of being patted on the back. Thanks. So wait, so what do you do to make you a star?
Oh, and he'll pull out like some of his sketches. Like, I'm a graffiti artist, street artist. In the daytime.
That's cool.
Yeah, I go around and sometimes I get permission, sometimes I don't. But it's art. Gotta let it free. Gotta let it out. Show it off.
Yeah, hell yeah. Since when has art ever been about like rules and norms and things like that? Anyway, right?
I like how you think. And then he just stuffs another piece of jerky in his mouth because he's got to get those proteins up.
He's like protein loading.
Gotta get.
Oh, absolutely. Gotta get them gains.
Riley doesn't move from the couch. She has like a bowl of popcorn in her lap. And as these exchanges have happened, she's just been eating like one piece of popcorn at a time. You could say that Riley has like a homeless chic going on in just the way that she looks. Like immediately got here and washed her clothes and like took a shower. But she just kind of looks up and is like, Riley. Karan.
Right. Yeah. Nice to meet you, I guess.
Nice to meet you.
Karan is going to hold out his hand, and I'm assuming Riley doesn't really move or respond to that.
No, Riley looks at her hand, wipes it off on like her pants aggressively, and then shakes your hand. She just doesn't get up.
Got it. Yeah, natural. He'll shake her hand too.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you all meet, Dr. Albright?
I just came out here. Like, I don't know. I had a message, which was weird. And then, well, I had no reason to be in Seattle, really. No reason to really be anywhere. So I just came out here and she was here and knew a bunch of shit that I didn't. What about you?
Well, Dr. Albright reached out to me through like she emailed me through like the little contact thing on my website, and she sent me all this like cryptic stuff about like, I know who you are, I know what you are, and I know you want answers. Come meet me at so and so at such and such time, and then we met, and she told me who she is. She told me about this place, and the rest is history, I guess. Though I think I got to meet her a little after maybe you guys did.
Yeah, you just see Logan just like nodding as you say that, probably getting the sense that he had a very similar experience.
David, did we ever establish how I got in contact with her? Or is this just cool?
Whatever you like, man.
Is
Yeah.
She actually met me at the casino I work at. I just took her as a little old lady who was just gambling, and then she pulled me to the side and said roughly the same thing, kind of knew what I was going through, and if I needed any help, that I should come here. So I was like, well, go. You know, I freaking Seattle a lot anyway, so from where I work at over in North Bend, so figured to come on down here and take a break.
So you're a graffiti artist by day. You work a casino by night. When do you find time in that 24-hour span to like sleep and just I don't know, do regular people stuff?
The casino thing is kind of with my tribe, and I only go in like when I'm asked to be like extra security. You know, if they got like a big get together or some local band is playing, you know. It's mainly like for our tribe, so I see it as an obligation, but they don't ask me a whole lot. You know, my grandmother doesn't really like me being there, you know, though it helps the tribe. She's like, you know, because she's like old school medicine woman, right? So is the easiest way I can explain it. So she's more of the traditional in this, where, you know, so she would like me to do that. And I'm like, well, I kind of like the casino. So, but I try to respect my grandmother. So
Yeah, totally understandable. Well, if that's how she feels about you being a casino security guy, how does she feel about you being like a graffiti artist?
She actually prefers me being an artist. She says that my art speaks volumes. You know, I try to incorporate our people's story in my artwork. So there's a lot of like the Thunderbird being the biggest of our stories, and a lot of my work has like Snoqualmie Falls in the background, which are two very big important things to our people. So these are things that I try to incorporate, and she likes that. And I don't necessarily tell her that I break on people's property to do it. You know, I don't think she would like that aspect.
Yeah, what she doesn't know can't hurt her, I guess.
Right.
But wow, this all sounds really cool, man. I gotta say, I'm not really from around here, so a lot of what you're talking about isn't like stuff I really know about. But like that sounds super sick, man. You're really gonna have to like walk me through this stuff at some point, because I'd love to hear more.
Yeah. Whatever after the doc has up for us, I can always take you out to the grounds. You know, our tribe, the Snoqualmie, are very welcoming people, and they would love nothing more to tell somebody about how they are.
Yeah, that would be super cool. Honestly, I was kind of worried when I came here that I wouldn't really like get along with anybody but Dr. Albright. But you guys you guys all seem pretty okay.
Wait,
is-
did you move here after?
Yeah.
Were you already
what-
here?
I moved here about like a little under a year ago.
Oh,
Why?
Okay. Well, no, I was just
Where are
curious.
you from?
Oh, I'm from Jersey, so quite a ways away from home.
A lot of ways away from home. What brought you
Yeah.
out here?
I It's not that I'm opposed to. It's not that I'm opposed to telling you guys. I think that's something I'd rather just keep to myself for the time being. It's
Don't worry,
a little
man.
personal and it's still a little raw.
We all
I-
have our secrets. It's okay, man.
Yeah, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey. Well, we're glad you're here, man. You seem like a cool guy.
Thanks. I really appreciate that.
Riley has 100% been rolling a joint during this conversation,
As you will.
As
which she has lit up now and has passed to whoever.
Yeah, Thea does not mind any of that kind of stuff. Like, she probably has her own stuff and doesn't mind smoking in the house. Or any of that kind of stuff. So y'all do whatever you want.
It's legal here. We're in Washington.
It's true. Yeah. Yeah, and it's like 10 years or 5 years in the future from now even. So like it's even probably more permissible at this stage.
so
It's like
Washington's way ahead of the game.
yeah, it really is. It really is.
I was like,
Um,
Washington's way ahead of the game.
So I think I don't have anything world stuff right now, no. I was about to insert some stuff, but I'll have to wait until kind of tomorrow for your characters. But yeah, you all kind of pass the joint around, have a pleasant evening here. And I'm sorry I didn't mean to interrupt any role play, but just to say that like, eventually dinner happens, right? And Thea sits down at the table with everyone to sit and have dinner. Love you. She kind of looks around the table as you're all, getting some food, and asks, "How was your weeks? Last weekend was so eventful. I wanted to check in with the three of you to see how you're doing."
I've been doing okay. I've been actually a lot. To be honest with you, I've been. What's that form called, David? When you're not like, what's it at? When you're wolf form. There it
Lupus.
is.
Lupus.
I'm loop. Yes, I've been spending a lot of time in my lupus form. To be honest with you,
Oh,
enjoying
that's really good to
being
hear.
a wolf.
Yeah, you see her kind of wide grin, the wrinkles on her face, her like kind of stark white hair. As
Mhm.
she like, "Oh, that's lovely. How are you liking it?"
It's different. Everything is sharper,
Yeah, that's my understanding.
and it's very very interesting. I think I like it though.
Have you been in
Feel
the
more
city
connected.
as a lupus, or have you been out in the woods? Where do
No.
you go?
Out on my tribe's land, where pretty far up into the mountains. The best part, I've been able to get to places that I don't even think humans could get to. So I get to see like the full view, and that's pretty cool.
That's
Been
excellent.
spending a lot of time up in the mountains.
So, I don't know how it is for you, but my understanding is that if you spend enough time in wolf form, then even other wolves will approach you. Have you been approached by any wolves since?
Not yet. I've been pretty by myself. But it is hunting season, so animals tend to go further away because humans,
Right.
us, what was us. Still confused about that.
Naturally. Well, that's excellent. I'm glad you're exploring your wolf form. It's really good work.
Oh, thank you.
Logan, how are you?
Oh, all right. Um, Trying to get the business back together, but you know, that's rough.
Is there anything that you need? Anything that maybe we could provide?
I doubt it. Just trying to reach out to companies, see, hey, do you want me to do like yoga seminars for you? I
Hmm?
promise I'm not gonna. There aren't gonna be any more bear attacks.
Um, yeah, understood. Dakota, maybe mention there's a new security and have Dakota go or something like that. I understand that you do security at your casino. Is that right, Dakota?
Yeah, I mean, you need a face. And, I can introduce you to my grandmother. Like earlier today, I forgot to invite you to as well. Maybe you can start something out there, like a community reach program or something. I'm sure my people would be interested in that. Kind of normalize us as part of the Seattle group. Maybe that might be an avenue for you.
Y'all
I
think y'all would be receptive to like yoga?
Maybe like my age people will, but I mean, I it's not too much different how I see it from when we, you know, sit around and talk about the spirits and tell stories. It's very relaxing and meditative. So I'm not trying to be disrespectful by any means, but like adding some poses to what we already do shouldn't be any more different in my
I mean,
mind.
it's just stretching and breathing, but
Right.
I,
So, hey, it's worth a shot, right?
yeah, I, yeah, definitely. Give me in contact
Yeah,
because
I'll talk to my grandmother.
yeah, I would really really appreciate that.
I'll talk to my grandmother, and hopefully in the next tribe meeting she can bring it up, which should be soon, like next weekend or something like that.
Perfect. Are you, Logan? Are you feeling ready for more?
For more,
For more business
what?
for your practice?
Yeah. I think enough times passed, enough people have stopped talking about it. So
Good. I'm glad. Really happy. How about you, Riley? How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Just been a quiet, calm week out there. I've been doing the lupus thing too. Makes traveling a hell of a lot easier.
Oh,
Don't
really?
have to thumb it for a ride uh out here anymore.
True.
Um, so that's useful, you know. Um, though I have done it more in the city, um, which is difficult but fun in the way. So
Any dog catchers going after you?
no,
That's good. That's good.
I try to stay smart about it. So, but
Would a dog catcher even bother with a giant wolf?
Oh, in the day,
if
absolutely.
if you scare enough people,
Yep.
That's amazing.
A city gets a rumor as being infested by wolves. The dog catchers suddenly grow up from having the little stick with the loop to carrying um, rock salt shotguns to try and stun the wolf. Um, that was a regrettably common practice back in the day. It seems that all those programs have dissipated in the recent years, but it was a thing.
well, and I'm
Ugh.
like I'm smaller than you two, so like I could just be a Siberian Husky or German Shepherd or God knows what, just
Big,
running around.
right? Blending a little bit better for sure. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, that's good. That's good that you're practicing. That's really great. And finding immediate use. That's
Yeah.
there. It is intended to be a tool in your bag of tricks. So that's good.
It's certainly useful.
And Karan,
Mhm.
how is it? How are you finding it? I saw you met everybody earlier. I'm really happy that you're here on a weekend when everyone else is here. It's pretty great to have all of you together. But how are you doing? How are you finding Seattle now that you've been here for a little while?
Seattle itself has been pretty good. I think I'm adjusting semi okay. There's definitely been some times when, between kind of like splitting my time here and in the city, trying to do like my normal stuff that I do in a week, and doing what I do here. It's been a little hard to like reconcile the two. It still seems kind of like unreal that I come here on the weekend to practice shape shifting into something I didn't even know could possibly exist. But I guess I'm getting used to it with time. And Karin kind of like points out all the everyone else at the table. It certainly helps to have other people around, I guess, to help you through it.
Good. Yeah, I imagine that taking away from the city is difficult given the nature of your business. But I appreciate you making some time to come all the way out here. And I hope that it's rewarding for you, so that you continue to want to come out here. I mean, this is all at will. I really do appreciate that all of you have taken an interest in accepting this and pursuing it and not running from it, which I imagine was a possibility. So just very briefly, I want to say thank you to all four of you for not being afraid of this and for exploring your new natures, and allowing me to help you in the way that I can.
Well, thank you, Doctor. I'm sure I speak for all of us when I say that, like, I don't know where any of us would be without your guidance through all this. So we really appreciate what you're doing for us.
Oh, yeah, Doc. Been pretty cool.
We appreciate it. Yeah.
Excellent. I'm glad. Well, if you all feel like, there's dessert, but I'm probably gonna turn in for the night.
Okay.
She
He will go for whatever dessert is.
Yep. Yeah. It's probably some sort of like rice milk, like that really sweet rice inside of milk with like some avocado. It's like a Brazilian dessert.
Cool.
And she takes her little like e-reader and heads upstairs. As you load up on some
while he's stuffing his face of this stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. He'd be like, so, Karan, I never did ask you, what do you do?
Oh, well, I guess my day job now is I do a lot of like video producing, audio producing as a freelancer. About a year ago, I worked the boards for a podcast, and I that was kind of like my main career up until pretty recently. But yeah, now I'm kind of working for myself, I guess. I'm seeing if I can't go back onto my old show. And before you ask, I would tell you what the show is called, no, so you could check it out. But there's a lot of controversy around it and me at the moment, so I don't know if I feel comfortable telling you all that. Once I get to that point, I'll definitely share all my work with you. But yeah, no, I'm thinking about seeing if I can't go back to what I used to do. But for now, I'm just doing my own thing.
Cool.
All right.
Not the Joe Rogan podcast, is it?
Oh God, no. I like to think I like to think I can do a little better than that.
Okay, I just checking.
No, there's a lot more that you can say on a 60-minute weekly podcast than watching Gorillas fight or whatever it is he does.
This is in character.
Yup. I like you.
You ever think about what Joe Rogan would do if he found like a clip of one of us, in our war forms? Just
Oh Lord.
Jamie, pull that up. Check out this 11-foot tall fucking monster, Jamie.
One, he would probably think he's tripping on some stronger strain. For one, he might even get Elon in on it.
Yeah, right. Just imagine
Lord.
Dr. Albright on his show. Like, that's wild that you can turn into an 11-foot tall wolf. You ever taken DMT?
How do you get those gains?
Yeah.
You ever thought about being in the ring?
Yeah, right. You ever thought about doing MMA?
All right, I'm done.
Riley thinks about asking a question. Thinks better of it because the guys are goofing and just goes back to eating.
Just knowing that, Logan is just gonna kind of try to catch her eye, but give
She'll
up
just
if she's.
Nah, she'll catch your glance, but just kind of like nod it off, like we can talk about it later or something.
No, not.
Well, I don't know about y'all, but if the good dog doesn't have anything for us right now, oh yeah, didn't think about that.
Yeah. Kind of got carried away there.
Yeah, didn't think about that one. I'm gonna go practice some more. I think I'm gonna do a little run. Would any of y'all care to join me?
You're going out for a run?
More like with 4 legs. I'm gonna go practice more of my lupus.
Oh. Oh boy. I don't know. I'm pretty exhausted. I might just get some work done and turn in for the night. Maybe. Logan, what are you up to?
I was probably just gonna go through a couple of flows and then go to bed myself.
Riley.
Well, if no one else is gonna do it, I'm gonna clean up this mess and make sure it gets put away. And then
I was gonna
help.
Well, when you put it like that, sure, I'll help you clean up.
Yeah,
I can't let you do that all by yourself.
Go on my run. I mean,
Okay, good, thanks.
I thought that was implied.
Yeah.
Appreciated. But no,
I love how like already it's like roommate chores discussion. It's like that's awesome.
All right, now steady on.
We're not Anna.
I was like, you want to finish that sentence?
You're funny, Logan. I ran all the way out here, so I would rather don't really need to do another lap. But thank you, and just be careful.
Okay.
Just be careful, and don't go too far.
It's not like I'm gonna be trying to go back into the Umbra. That's why I'm going for.
Promise me. You said that we would stay together. You promised that we would stay together.
I promise I will stay on the property.
Thank you.
All right. So I would help clean.
Yeah, you do your
then,
thing.
Yep.
And then I'm out. I'm heading out.
We make a point of actually cleaning.
Yes, I make an actual effort of cleaning.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. So Dakota, you get out onto the land, right? And this is all forested property. There's every so often a post or a sign on a tree kind of denoting her property line, but it's real loose out here. Anybody who's out here is kind of a neighbor, and if you're in this side of the woods, like everybody kind of gets it, right?
Gotcha.
And things like, people's dogs get out or whatever, they'll cross over on each other's property to take care of some problem, But generally, everybody's pretty isolated out here. And so you go
Okay.
tearing off into the woods in your lupus form and all of that good stuff. Give me, as you're out running, give me a primal urge plus. Pull up your sheet real quick.
Let me make sure I'm switched over to lupus.
Yep. So yeah, you're in beast form. Good. Yeah.
Is that
Yep.
the form I need to be in?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is. It is. Or lupus. I
Alright.
think on the sheet they call it beast, but it's lupus. In my head canon, it is always lupus. So give me a
Okay.
perception plus primal urge as you run through the woods. It's like just after dusk, so it's the changing of the guard, right? Out,
Okay.
away go all of the birds and mammals and all that kind of stuff. Out come the bats, which I know are mammals, bats and insects and the creepy crawlies and all of that stuff as you're out here in this kind of moment where everything in the woods is changing, right? There's fireflies coming out
Okay.
and all that stuff.
Cool. I got a 1 success.
Okay, awesome, cool. So while you're out here, you sniff out a rabbit trail. You sniff out
Ooh.
some rabbit that has like come across this area recently, and you kind of pick up its scent and know that you could follow it for at least a little while. You might not be able to find the rabbit, but you kind of like just in lupus form like pick up like the scent of prey, and it's like, oh yeah, it's like strong muscle, low to the ground, definitely a rabbit.
Mm-hmm. I follow it until it leaves the property.
Okay.
Like, do I have enough wherewithal? Like, am I still in enough control to realize that when I hit the property line,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can stop?
I mean, you as a character kind of intuitively know the property line, right? And even in wolf
Okay.
form, like you can still recognize, oh yeah, this grove, like on the other side of this little grove, is the other guy's property, so I should probably stop here, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And sure enough, yeah, you follow that trail all the way up until around then, and it gets a little stronger out here. So there's probably like a warren or something
Mm-hmm.
nearby. But can't quite pinpoint on it. You were just kind of following it for a little while, and you probably spend an hour or two out here tracking
Okay.
that thing down and doing your run for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Just trying to get used to it, try to get more into it. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And didn't find the rabbit, so I'm not going to chomp down on it. So, I guess I'm going to head back.
Yeah,
Oh, if I would have found that rabbit, I definitely would have ate it.
sure. No, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And we are still. Let's see. It's been a week from now, so let's talk about the moon as it rises. Um, it's going to it. Last week it set as a galliard, and this week it rises as a philodox moon.
I thought it was Philodox last week.
Oh, was it? I'm so sorry.
Mhm.
I thought you were. My apologies. You were absolutely right. It was philodox, so it would rise as a theurge now. Right, philodox. Yeah, theurge. So who in this group is a theurge?
I cannot remember.
Dakota, that's you.
Yep.
Okay, I'm that. That's
Yes.
what I am.
Yes.
Thank you.
Excellent. So
This is where we have Connor.
yes.
Sorry,
So
Thank you, Connor.
so
Thank you,
Connor
Simon.
is a Galliard.
yes.
But
Yeah. but your character in this game is a philodox. Yeah. So Casey, as you're out running and chasing all this stuff, there's this moment where you glance up as you just feel the sliver of light cutting through the trees, and you look up to see your moon, and all of your gnosis, whatever gnosis you had spent, comes back. Your willpower comes back. Your rage comes back. Whatever you had spent through the week has returned, and you
Cool.
are energized. It pulls on you. You can just feel it like pulling your blood even a little bit as you're kind of gazing up at that crescent moon hanging in the sky.
Then I will definitely do a couple more laps. And then when I come back, I think I start working on adding the moon to my big piece.
Cool. Awesome.
and it'll be my moon, and that'll be the final piece of that work
That's
that
awesome.
I've been working on.
So Dakota's out for a while,
So,
off in the woods, having a good old time, right? The three of you at the cabin, what do you get up to?
Logan was gonna go like out in the woods a little bit, and go through a few yoga flows. So he was gonna go out. He's gonna light some incense. Yes, I have props.
Yes, here you are.
And just sort of breathe in the night air and get into a really meditative flow. He is going to try and do this. Uh, can are we fairly safe from people seeing us?
Yeah, the driveway to her land, to her house, is probably like hundreds of feet, right? It's far away from the road. You can't even see the road from her house. So if you're behind the house a little bit further in the woods, like there is nobody out here.
Okay. He's going to try this in Krynos.
Sweet. Give me a Dex plus Primal Urge to get into Krynos.
Dex and Primal Urge?
I think that's the roll. Let's see what the roll forms. It's difficulty 6 to get there. Pretty sure it's not Dex.
It wouldn't be like wits?
Oh, it might be wits. It's been a minute
Stamina?
since I've rolled the thing. I'm so sorry.
Legend Keeper, everybody.
How
Make
do
sure-
Werewolf?
Yeah, how do Werewolf? Oh, my apologies. Ha 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 ha. Stamina plus Primal
Stamina.
Rage. Stamina plus
That's-
Primal.
That's better.
Okay.
I like that. I like that so much better.
Okay, good.
Is that better for you, Connor?
Nope.
Ooh.
Oh no.
It sure isn't.
No.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Buddy.
you're out here doing some forms, kind of getting warmed up, and you take that moment to concentrate and try to make it happen. And not only does it like not work, but you feel your body like willfully rejecting the shift. You certainly can force it, right? You can always spend rage to just force your way into whatever form you want. But just on your own practice, your own effort, you just feel like your own self reject even the notion of going into war form. Like there's a part of you that just blocks that from occurring. That whatever that voice is, you can decide which voice that is in Logan's head, but some part of him has stopped that from occurring.
I think he's just still gonna try and go through it, but clearly it's not gonna. This is probably not one of his better moments.
Yeah, that's setback for sure. What is Riley up to?
Well, after Riley cleaned the kitchen with the help of the guys, she actually grabbed like something else to eat and put it in a pocket of her coat. And I think just settled in on the couch with like a book of Thea's that she found. And is just reading. Trying not, if he's down there, trying not to occasionally glance at Karan. But doing her best to try and read on the book.
Okay. Yeah. What do you want this book to be about? Do you want it to be like a personal Albright family book, or is it like just some novel that she has down in her bookshelf down here?
It would have been like a random pull.
Mm-hmm.
But the metagamer in me would like it to be an Albright book. But
Sure.
I will
Yeah.
either take that from the GM or roll a luck.
No. Let's do we won't make you roll.
Okay.
There is a you go to look at her bookshelf, and there are the Albright field notes, and you pull those open, and she's referenced these before.
Okay.
So you pull that down and you read through it. And this is a collection of notes from her grandfather, Lord Albright, who used to run a tribe and was a fierce warrior. And these are notes that he sent to her. And it's kind of personal because it's family, but you can sense in the reading that they were never really close. That he wrote to her and he provided her some stuff, but really never shared too deeply what was going on. But you get kind of a sense of who he was when he was alive.
Okay. I'll read through that.
Cool. And Karan, how are you? What are you up to?
I'm gonna say that Karan was probably a little curious about what Logan was up to. So I'm gonna say maybe he like took his computer out and like maybe pulled out a chair to go like kind of observe how Logan does like his whole yoga thing, combined with his various like Garu forms, and seeing that has like gone wrong, he's going to like maybe like put his things down, walk over, and see if Logan's okay. So he's gonna like maybe kneel down, be like, "Are you okay? You seem a little shook up.
I'm fine.
Is that normal? Does that happen a lot where you can't change?"
He takes a really deep breath.
I'm not trying to be like mean or insulting or anything. I'm still figuring out how these things work. So
Yeah, me too.
Karen's gonna like maybe try and help like Logan to his feet, make sure he's okay, like physically. You aren't like hurt or anything, are you?
No, just I don't know, disappointed, I guess.
Well, hey
And
man, like you said, we're still figuring this shit out. I'm sure you'll get this down eventually, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, part of me knows that like this is gonna pass and everything. But I guess I just like used to pride myself on like my self control and everything.
Yeah. I hear you. I mean, I used to see myself as pretty calm guy, pretty in control kind of person. You know, very much a thinker, not any of not really the instinctual type, but I'm sure all of us have had a lot of assumptions about ourselves kind of turned on their head. And I think we're doing a lot of reckoning and realizing about who we really are. So it's kind of inevitable.
Yeah, and he just nods, and like you can tell that he's like trying to listen, but there's still just like that. It's something in there that he just can't get over right now.
Listen, man, why don't you just take a break for tonight and I don't know, go inside and hang out for a bit. You seem pretty wore out.
Yeah, yeah. And he'll stand back up, get his stuff, and yeah, head back in.
Sure. If it's all right, Karan will kind of like walk in with Logan and just kind of like make small talk to try and get his mind off it. But eventually he'll get to a point where he asks, so what do you figure the doc has lined up for us? She pretty deliberately wanted us all to be here, I think. So she must have something in mind, right?
Last week she talked about how her grandfather, or I guess other people like us, like solved supernatural problems, which is when she offered to take us fishing, I guess. Figure out what was going on at Echo Lake. If I had to guess, it'd probably be something like that again.
Well, here's hoping we don't get eaten alive in a dream or for real, huh? All right, man. I'll give you some space. I'll leave you to it.
And he'll just silently nod, and like as you like leave him, just like without turning his head and everything, you'll just hear, "I appreciate you."
Yeah, man. Anytime.
So, just to interject here, I kind of gather that everybody's going to kind of go their separate ways, and maybe are we going to be going to bed next, or does everybody have other things they want to accomplish tonight?
I think sorry.
I do. But you can go first, Jay. It's fine.
No, nothing. I was just going to say my character's going to turn in now, I think.
Okay. Riley is going to wait until Logan goes back to his room. And then, not too long after, maybe 5 minutes later, she's going to just softly knock on it.
What's up?
It'll be quick, I promise.
Mm-hmm.
Who is Joe Rogan?
Oh God, an asshole mostly.
And then, like, maybe they just go into Logan's room to talk. That was like the only.
Sure, yeah. And then it's we fade out while y'all continue to have this discussion about the life and times of Joe Rogan. Beautiful.
I don't know, man. Like I'd really like to get a Spotify deal my damn self.
So let's not all be too dark on the guy. Okay. So yeah, you all turn in. Dakota, you eventually come home, and you work a little late into the evening on your piece, right? Sketching and resketching and all that kind of stuff, trying to get the positioning right.
Is exhaustion a thing in this game? Like if I stay up all night, is that a problem?
Yeah. You end up with
I'll go to bed.
You end up with minuses. Okay.
Nope. Not powerful enough yet to take minuses.
Don't want that. Got it. So, good stuff. You all go to bed. Rest when you're all together is different, right? You're no longer getting the sporadic hallucinations or visions that haunt your dreams. When you're all together, it somehow coalesces into something more tangible, something that lasts a little longer. And there's this moment where you're on the beach. You've got this giant fish, scaled, spined creature in front of you. You're all in war form, as you spend most of your time in war form, with your pack mates, with your whole Karen's worth of Garu. And one of the Garu is making an impassioned pitch to move the creature to the big lake so that it may persist and feed us for months. So we don't have to eat it all here and now. We can let it live on and consume it over time. And there's a a lot of debate, arguing, fights break out over this because it's not something that is normally done. But there's wisdom to this because winter is coming, and having like a huge food store at the ready, there's a bit of wisdom to this. So the dream ends with all of you collectively, bodily lifting this thing and making the long trek across the land by the sea to a large lake where you all are going to deposit this dying creature and hope to sustain it in your lake that is that would imprison it, right? It would be enclosed here. It could not get back to the ocean. And this dream does not wake you up when it's done, but you remember looking left and right and seeing one another in it. So like Dakota, you see Riley in her war form, who sees Logan, who sees Karan. You all see each other like in the bits of fur that you've seen of one another or heard about each other's look. You recognize one another in this dream as you're all working with a larger group of Geru to move this spiky whale shark creature fish thing into another lake, into a salt lake. Otherwise you sleep out the rest of the night and wake up normally the next day, having felt rested, probably for the first time in a while.
I'm up early cooking, as is per norm, Saturdays and Sundays, as the group has been here.
Thea is up. She's drinking some coffee, asking Riley about, do you have any plans for the day?
Well, I guess that's kind of dependent on you, because if you have something for us to do.
I always have my box of mysteries if you wanted to follow up on one of those.
Well, I don't know if that's what the guys want to do, but I mean, we're here. I'm not sure if I don't know. I think Dakota is like ready to jump in to anything. I don't know about the other two.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if we need to take it slow or if we just need to go in hot and fast. Hey, I was reading through some of your books, or well, one of your books last night.
Oh.
One of the field guides. It was down here on the bookshelf. I didn't think you'd mind.
Oh. No, I suppose I don't mind. I think I left that out by accident, but yeah, those are my. It's fine. Those are my grandfather's notes. Find anything interesting in there?
I'm still kind of thumbing through it. It has. When did you get these? When?
Well, he wrote to me, kind of throughout my 20s and 30s, when I started my career, and there was not much he could tell me. I knew that he had to keep his secrets, so. But I always found it interesting to hear where he had been. He was always careful to name the city and state or nation that he was present in case he went missing. I would know his last whereabouts, I suppose. So, yeah, those were always important to me, and through that, I have some glimpses into what his life was like. He was all over the world. Spent a lot of time in the Amazon, but was otherwise a world traveler out of necessity. I think he was fighting the Great Fight and trying to lead a lot of werewolves to win.
So there really were a lot more like us.
Thousands, absolutely. There were nations. There were tribes. Each tribe would have internal disputes and factions. Some tribes owned territory, land. Otherwise, it was a collection of tribes would go in on an area and protect it, keep the spirits from crossing over into the physical world, keep the physical world from becoming much worse. Yeah, there were thousands of Geru.
Where did he disappear at? Where did he?
Uh,
When did he stop writing?
the last letter I have from him is when he was in the Amazon. That was a frequent, call it a battleground for him and people like him. And he spent a lot of time there. And the last letter I have from him was there. And frankly, shortly after its arrival, I realized that some of the other Geru that I knew in the area, I wasn't running into them anymore. Weren't at the they were no longer at the local farmers market as it is. I stopped running into them. So I think whatever happened around then.
But we don't know what just happened.
Don't. Sorry. Wish that I did.
Nah. I wish that you did too. But I didn't mean to pry. It was on the bookshelf and I saw it there.
Oh, it's fine. You didn't do anything wrong. And ultimately, you need to have all the information you can have. I don't know what survival means for you at this point, right? What would be needed? So any information you glean from the notes that he left me or from the world on a whole, it's all important. My hope is that I can give you some of those tools before eventually you outgrow this place.
I think the boys might be better prepared for gleaning that kind of info, I'm just, it's not really my thing too much.
I don't know. I think you have a way about connecting the dots.
Maybe. You want some more bacon?
I'd love some. Thank you so much. Gee, take some. The rest of you rouse and make your way down. The smell of bacon is there for those who love bacon. Probably the smell of like some sort of like quinoa dish is also present. If you're not making something vegetarian, then Thea will probably make something vegetarian. For the group.
Logan's like walking this line, as far as I can tell.
Mhm.
Maybe vegetarian, maybe not.
Right.
So
Yeah. Last session, Logan told Riley he was vegetarian before he turned.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's having seen that, she still makes somewhat of an equivalent, or she makes something that is not meat.
Right.
For him.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah. Whenever Logan comes down, he like acknowledges everybody, but he heads outside again, like first thing.
Dakota would definitely be the last one down.
Perfect.
I could go and rile them. You would think that the smell of food would wake them up.
I'm sure Karan's found his way down as well, probably like second to last, a short while before Dakota comes down. He's immediately just like jumping into like no pleasantries, no good mornings, no hellos, just immediately just, did anyone else have a real weird dream last night? I could have sworn I saw somebody, and I didn't know for sure, but I had this feeling that I saw all of you. Did you guys feel it too?
Big fish. Lots
Yeah. Carried it to a lake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had that.
As
I
the
saw others there.
as the two of you are kind of recalling the dream, there's this thing that your brain remembers after everything was done. As the fish was like nearing the lake, there was a creature on the far end of the lake. It was a creature you had never seen before. It had the body of a lion, the head of a lion, and the head of a goat. And the lion's tail swoops around and is a large serpent. And you watch in your memory as it like dips its head down and draws in water from the lake, watching this parade of Geru hoisting their prize into the lake.
So about that, David, could I roll maybe something like occult or academics to maybe get an idea of what that might have been?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. Do you want me to roll that?
I get intelligence plus whichever one of those two things you like.
Okay. Oh, shoot, trying to do the roll on roll 20.
It's a little funky, yeah, because in the sheet
It's
you
a
have
little
to, like,
finicky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
No worries.
You know, I'll just roll it like manually.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah, no worries. And it'd be like a difficulty. Oh, perfect. Oh,
Okay,
look at all
3
that.
successes.
Boom, boom, boom. Okay, cool. So yeah, you're sitting there thinking about that thing. In like old myth, old lore, that is a chimera. A creature of many creatures. It has the tail of the serpent. It has the head of a lion, the head of a goat, and sometimes the head of a dragon. You didn't see a head of a dragon in your memory, but it is definitely a creature of myth and lore, and was apparently present at the lake.
So Karan's going to turn to Dr. Albright and say, Doctor, there's something that I noticed in this collective dream that we had. He's going to describe this creature and ask if it has any particular significance based on what she knows.
She kind of thinks about it. Says, "Well, this is the second creature y'all have." Or sorry, not y'all. She says, "This is the second creature that the group has identified. This one seems a lot more familiar. Let me go back and do some study. I'll see if I can't find something for you."
Sure.
And she goes up to the. She's got like probably an office / library here on the first floor, and she goes in there, and you can hear her like opening drawers and pulling things off of shelves, and she's trying to research while you all continue to get together. I do want to catch in on Logan. So Logan, you're outside. What are you up to?
Yeah. He's doing sun salutations, not shifting forms this time.
Okay. Fair enough.
Just meditating.
Perfect. And Dakota, you come downstairs, probably around the time that Thea gets up to go get food.
Yeah. I'd come down with my sketchbook, working on a new piece. And as I get down there, I'll be like, "How y'all doing?" "Ooh, bacon." And I was like, "So now we know, or at least now I know, why that thing is pissed at us." Just going right into the dream, no nuance. He's like, "Now I know why it wanted to eat me."
We don't you don't know any of that. Like, it's a dream. It was the mystical Umbra. Maybe they're probably connected. Who the hell am I kidding? But at the same time, like, we can't do anything
Education,
about it.
right? But I'm gonna keep that in mind the next time we go in there, because I have a feeling we might have to go back,
Right, but
and we should stay very far away from that thing.
Oh, but from what you were saying, you were basically calling out to it. So you were the one with the danger sense kind of going on.
Well, true, but it was more of because I wanted to know more. I was curious, just why did we have this dream? And so I thought, let's go to the source, not knowing that at least its ancestor or its spirit or how you want to see it, and literally was kept alive just to be eaten. I too would be pissed at a werewolf if I was taken from my home after being almost killed just to be fed on. Wouldn't you?
Sure, but let me spin this for you a different way.
Mm-hmm.
If they did it to that animal, what else did they do it to? If we're going to be running from that ghost, we better start thinking about the other ghosts we're going to be running from. You know what I mean?
I mean, you make a point.
So the more that we maybe don't think about it, we'll be surprised later on or something.
I'll try. And then he'll just start eating the bacon. Did you make any eggs? I can make the eggs. I make a mean omelet.
I'm working on it. What's your new piece?
You want help?
Are you going to show us or not?
Oh yeah. So I would show you the piece that I just finished, and then it's like I'm just kind of reworking the fish and adding some more things. And David, would I have also noticed the chimera, or is that just a?
As y'all are talking about the dream, your mind recalls a memory towards the end of the dream of this chimera appearing.
And then
it does seem it does seem odd, right? Just so like it's like it was you know how like you'll remember a dream and like the dream is fading immediately as soon as you're waking up, right? It's like getting tucked away and you can't remember any of the dream. It feels kind of like the opposite effect where you have the dream, you remembered the dream, and then there's this detail that like percolates up out of some deep subconscious area that just attaches itself to the end of your dream.
Okay.
So yeah, just to give you a sensation
how
of what that felt like.
How I would be doing that is that this new piece would be the lake. I would be sketching the lake, and then maybe start sketching in the very background that animal. I'm not quite sure what this is. Did y'all have this in your dream?
Yeah, I actually think that Karan that's what you were talking about, right?
Yeah, it is. I was just asking Dr. Albright about it. She said that she might be a little familiar with it. She said that she was going to look into some stuff about it. What do you figure it might be or mean or whatever?
He just does one. He's like, I really don't know. And that thing, though that fish is scary, that thing looks a million times scarier. And I don't feel like going into the Umbra to ask today.
Good.
Last time I did that, I almost died. So I think we might want to. Riley.
I'm just trying to keep you on your straight with us. Just reminding you.
I appreciate you. I really.
Anyway, I was going to say, I think I know a place where you can put that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know
Where?
a couple of places in the area that you can tag.
Oh, sweet. I'll go next time I come in. I'll find you and we'll definitely hit them spots.
Yeah.
I think this piece here is gonna really catch some attention. It's really good work. I
have an idea. I think it'll work.
Okay.
I think
Cool.
you'll like that.
Awesome. I'm about it. So has Doc told us what we're doing today?
Yeah, no.
Not yet.
The Chimera stuff up.
Where's Logan?
Doing his thing.
It just
He goes outside.
Gotcha.
He does his
he
stuff, and he comes back.
So because I'm playing it, he's young, right? And he's like, Logan, You want any of this bacon before I destroy the rest of it?
Go ahead. Knock
Yeah, if he
yourself
doesn't
out.
want it, I might take some.
Cool.
Let's save some for everybody, y'all.
So,
Uh,
so Thea comes back. She comes back kind of hurriedly coming in, and she with her has a couple of like, she has a book and like a couple of old scraps of paper, like yellowed paper, and she comes in and says, I know what this is. I found it. She like pulls out this like old mythology book, and then she has like some photos, or not photos, but like some handwritten notes that were scrawled in like really nice penmanship. Somebody had scrawled some notes in fine handwriting. And she opens the mythology book right to the page of the Chimera, and she says, "Okay, so this is something out of mythology. The Chimera is a creature of mystery that is written about in a couple of the old legends. But here's where it gets interesting. According to my grandfather's field notes, the Chimera is a totem, is a spirit guide to Guru. And it is a spirit guide that seeks to uncover mysteries about the old world, mysteries about the new, any riddle or enigma or hidden truth the Chimera seeks to expose to its practitioners."
I'm gonna pause, Thea.
Yes.
Sorry. Don't say
Yes.
anything else. Don't say anything else. Let me grab Logan.
Good idea. I'm so sorry. I was excited that I found something.
No, totally. I will quietly go outside. Not
Go ahead.
not get too close to Logan, but kind of like shuffle my feet in the grass to make noise. Hey, I'm sorry. Thea found something important, and we need you inside.
And he'll nod. Do an exhale.
Sorry,
Gather,
Logan.
gather up its mat and just like silently follow.
Okay.
All right.
I would like to take a little break because I feel like now is a good time for us to take this break right before Thea gives a deeper dump of information, and then
Right before the lore drop.
right, and then we get to decide what we want to do for the rest of our time because like there's options, right? So everybody watching at home, we're gonna take a 10-minute break. Does that work for you all?
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Yep.
Excellent. And perfect. Oh, all right, we're at break. All right, and we're back.
Are we live?
Hey, we are live. Welcome back, everybody. So yeah, we were having a fun little conversation about making homebrew worlds. That was fun. And maybe more on that in the future, which would be an exciting development. The game, we're gonna pick right back up where we left off, right? Logan, you're coming back into the house with Riley, and Thea is there with a book, a couple of handwritten notes, and that kind of thing, all in her hands. She's at probably relocated to the coffee table because there's a couple of seats, couches, that kind of thing. Everybody can be kind of comfortable while you pour over the knowledge that she has that she can share. And you all come in, or the two of you come in. The other two of you that were at breakfast, you relocate. And Logan, you are being reminded of the dream you had last night. And much in the same way the effect happened with everybody else is, as the dream is brought up, there's a part of your subconscious that remembers a later aspect of it that like almost gets bolted on or inserted at the end of the dream. It feels almost like the reverse of forgetting a dream. In that way where your brain will like allow a dream to just pour out of itself. It's like this thing just bubbled up from some deep surface or from some deep crevice came into your mind. And it's probably a different feeling than anything you've had before with regards to like dream tracking or any of that kind of stuff. I don't know if Logan does any of that, but if he does, this is a new feeling for sure. So kind of arrayed in front of all of you are pictures of the Chimera. And I don't know if any of y'all have looked into Chimeran like folk art, but it's always a lion with the head of a goat, the tail of a serpent, and sometimes the head of a dragon as well, or some sort of great lizard. It almost always has wings. Some depictions don't. And open on the coffee table is her like mythology book that has like this kind of art laid out. And this goes all the way back to like Greek mythology even. So it's a pretty old, pretty anciently depicted thing. She starts off by showing you this and explaining kind of what humans know about it, what normal people know about the chimera. And it really is just mythology, right? It's not like something that's been cited. It's something that was written about in like Greek poems and epics. And that it, is shrouded in mystery, this chimera. And she kind of fans out these 3 yellowed pieces of paper, and on them are, finely written words, written with like a fine pen, and a delicate hand, and you can even see some depictions as well. The depiction you see in maybe the second sheet of paper is actually of a vertical chimera with all 3 of those heads. Instead of it being on a creature's body, it's like a head and then another head, another head. And it frankly looks kind of totem-esque, like northwestern native tribe totems, where you have the various faces stacked on top of one another. This one has a similar structure to that, where each head is positioned, one on top of the other. And it has, the head of the lion, the goat. It has a serpent's head. And then it also has like a great lizard head as well, along with an owl and a bear. So this depiction that's drawn out has even more facet to it than what you saw in your. And she says, in Giru society, you don't walk alone. You have, of course, your pack, which it's, again, my opinion that you are all kind of becoming a pack by having these shared visions, by having these shared dreams. You are there's a bond forming between you all, and those bonds can be broken, right? Packs split up and reform in other ways, kind of like bands, I guess, but in a much more spiritual way. Totems are spirits that guide packs. You personally, like you, Dakota, you may be personally drawn to the Thunderbird as a creature that is, or as a being that is important to the Snoqualmie people, right? And that the Thunderbird is a fixture for the Snoqualmie.
All right.
To not put too fine a point on it, I was looking into the Thunderbird at one point because you had been mentioning it, and that is a totem. That is a bona fide guiding spirit to werewolves, to packs, to leaders, whole tribes even know of the Thunderbird and go to it for guidance. The Chimera is a different entity altogether. It is an entity of enigma and of wisdom, where it seeks to uncover hidden truths, expose, in a sense, expose lies, but really unearth the mysteries of the world, and not just the physical world, but of the spiritual world as well. And she kind of pushes a page towards all of you, and she says, "This is my grandfather's notes about working with a tribe on a chimeran quest, and where they were driven to understand what was beneath Mexico City. and they were seeking Chimera's guidance in how best to safely approach what they presumed to be a powerful spirit. With Lord Albright, they learned that it was a great spirit of corruption, and that they had to be very careful. So Chimera is a powerful totem that seeks to understand powerful mysteries, but sometimes, what is to say here, that when you catch the scent of some great mystery, sometimes at the end of that is a darkness, or is weaver or worm, and you have to be very careful. And the Chimera is not shy about seeking out all of the mysteries, be it beneficial or harmful. Um, it it's something that is drawn to uncovering those truths, no matter what the nature. Since all of you have seen it, I don't really know what that means. It could be that it's reaching out to you. It could be that it was actually present and you're remembering historical fact in a way. I frankly am not certain. But I know that the Chimera is a totem that guides packs. And there are many. There are many totems. Every animal you can think of, rats and owls, wolves. Wolves are a totem for packs. It is common that the totem selects the pack that they seek to guide. But packs have gone off and sought guidance from a totem specifically, and gone to great lengths to finding a guiding spirit for them. Having a totem is one more unifier for a pack. It draws all of you together. There's now a spiritual guide for you if you find it, and it chooses to take you on and to guide you. But they also require some kind of sacrifice, either in the form of energy. You have to go and do things that the totem finds valuable, or you have to, like in the case of the Korax, the raven, you have to sacrifice shiny things to birds, and that is enough to please the Korax totem. So each totem is a little different in terms of what it asks of a pack. My understanding is that the Chimera asks that the pack be brave in sniffing out and uncovering the deepest mysteries of our world, ancient and recent alike. And it is powerful as well.
Could it help us figure out would this have more answers for us?
I think that it would guide you in discovering those answers. I don't think that the Chimera specifically holds secrets. I think that it hunts secrets.
Oh, cool. We're working for Zeech. Awesome.
Zeech? She kind of looks around the table.
No, am I that big of a nerd? Okay. He just munches on some more. It's a tabletop game. My cousin got me into it. Yeah.
Oh.
It's
Okay.
like
Well, bring it next time. We'll play.
It's a secret thing. I'm gonna need your car for that.
Oh. Okay. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. So, if this thing is seeking us out, how do we seek it back? I guess.
Right. Totems typically do not cross over into the material world.
I don't like where this is going.
You see the biggest grin.
Can we not? Is there not a different way? Like burn some of Logan's incense or something?
So, in the past, there were places of power where the barrier between the Umbra and the physical world were weakened. And at those places of power, sometimes creatures passed into the physical world. And you see cultural references of things like this all the time. Alien sightings, ghost sightings, a lot of times are fake. But every so often that was actually a spirit that had crossed over, either purposefully or accidentally. So it's not impossible. I just don't know where such a place would be.
Might be possible. It is a stretch, but we could always go on a hike to the falls. That's a very spiritual place for my people. Maybe it's one of those types of crossing overs.
Wouldn't
Maybe.
that just attract the Thunderbird that she was just referencing?
It can all, but if it's a place that we're channeling our thoughts and energy, maybe we could get Chimera. When the shamans of old were trying to communicate with the Thunderbird, there's a song to it and a dance and everything. I don't think we would have to do that to get the Chimera. I don't know, to be honest with you. He'll point at the totems like, I don't even recognize this totem in any of the tribes. It's not a recognizable totem, so I don't know if there's a thing we can do, but it's worth a shot.
Yeah, I think so. I think Dakota's onto something. Assuming this isn't just us witnessing a real historical thing, like Dr. Albright said, it sounds to us like this chimera is, in a way, reaching out to us. And maybe if we do go to the falls or some other place of significance, like Dakota said, we're likely to find this thing, if solely because it wants to find us first.
I guess what these places of power, like, are there any specific like themes, anything that these things have in common? And I guess Dakota, what I mean, does any of that match up with the falls?
So
The falls were. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, David.
Theo would offer. My understanding is that they're varied. They're all over the world. Werewolves called them Karens. Cairnes, I believe. Karens, and they were gathering places for Geru. Quite frankly, Dakota, I believe the Snoqualmie Falls are or were a Karen at one point. So it stands to reason that would be a place of power where the realm, the barrier between the physical world and the Umbra was weakened. The other kind of facet is that werewolves are not the only creatures that gravitated to these places. I've never met one, but my understanding is that mages and changeling or fairies also gravitate towards these kind of places of enhanced spiritual energy.
Wait. Slow down a second. Mages, fairies.
Changelings?
You're making this part up. You're Paul.
I wish that I were.
Like Tinkerbell fairies, or
No,
tree fairies.
no. Think Dakota. Have you ever read a Japanese fairy tale?
Yes,
Okay. Well,
those fairies.
yeah. So in the Japanese fairy tale, those fairies are mischievous and sometimes deadly. In our world, changelings have agendas. They have purpose. They have something anchoring them to this space, and you have to be careful with them because they operate by different rules. And I don't know too much more about them. I haven't run into one, thankfully. I think that's why I'm still alive. But they are out there. Some place called Arcadia is where they're from.
Karan's going to like rub his temples and like maybe pinch the bridge of his nose and be like, "This is just insanity." Next, you're going to tell me this is like Blade and there's like vampires and stuff like that. And he thinks about what he said for a second, and he looks at Dr. Albright before she can speak and says, "You know what? Don't tell me. I think I'd rather not know."
Yeah, she just has a very like still face. Like, okay.
I think that very still face says plenty, and Karan is even more sort of like surprised than he previously was.
So
What if
we have.
it's the lake?
Oh.
What if it's the lake?
You mean Echo?
Echo Lake.
We're being raided.
Hey, thank you all.
Have to call
Yay!
the Hi guys.
Welcome.
What if it's the lake? Like, hear me out. Weird creepy thing in the lake. Weird creepy thing in our dreams. The lake that the creepy thing went to in our dreams.
I mean,
And the chimeras showed up and
that is where the Chimera was.
at the lake.
Yeah.
Where we dropped off the fish thing.
Where we know there was at least one angry, insane spirit.
Thing. I mean, it's not that far away. We could check that out first. And if that doesn't open it up, I guess we can go to the waterfalls or something. Oh no,
Yeah.
it seems almost sacrilege to me to be doing this. So whatever. You guys make a decision and I'll go.
I mean, I think that seems like a pretty solid plan in the absence of any other plan.
Not to go against the grain. I'm gonna go against the grain. Do we really want to go? I'll go with the group, and I'm not opposed to it. This is just with my experience so far. Do we really want to go where we might attract, even more pissed off spirits? That was not a good place for that spirit. And from my understanding, negativity tends to attract more negative.
I'll follow Logan.
So why don't we put something positive in it? I guess I don't know. I'm open to trying everything. Personally, I hope that Echo Lake is not this place of power that we're looking for, because I mean, we know that there were a lot of people there.
In thinking back to your dream, the giant Leviathan sized fish that was killed and dragged, or not killed, but wounded and dragged onto the shore, that was in the ocean. And they were dragging it or carrying it as a group across an expanse of land into a large lake.
Mhm.
And as you all are kind of like, you are either Seattleites or having recently moved to Seattle, looking at that dream and those sorts of things to kind of put a place on it, you're pretty sure that that was Washington Lake, which is just on the other side of Seattle proper, where they brought the fish to, the Leviathan to. So if you are gonna go to the Snoqualmie Falls, then you're gonna go further east into the woods and off the beaten path there. Or if you're gonna go to where you saw the ancient Garu move this prized Leviathan, you're pretty sure they would have moved it to Washington Lake.
Could we, like, would it be realistic to hit both in one day?
Absolutely.
So I guess, which one do we want to hit first?
Lake's closer.
Yeah.
All
You
right.
guys are south of Newcastle. Washington Lake is right next door. If you're looking at Roll20, it's the huge vertical lake that runs the length of Seattle.
Okay.
Would not be too difficult for you all to get there.
Based off of our collected dream, do we know, like, I mean, is there any way we can figure out where this camera was?
Oh, I love that idea. Yeah. Let's do that. 100%. So why don't we look at, I think, like an intelligence plus enigmas to kind of like, you were in a dream space, kind of seeing things through dreamland, right? But it maps to kind of the real world as it is now. I mean, granted, that was ancient times, so coasts have changed a little bit, but like the mountain peaks haven't changed that much, right? So let's go ahead and do that. If you anybody who wants
Intelligence
to
plus what?
intelligence plus enigmas to try and piece together where on the lake the chimera was standing, and I'm going to say the group as a whole needs 3 successes, and it's going to be yep, we got 2 right away. Love it.
I am smart.
Logan, you're not harming anybody's chances here though. So you're
Oh, well, there's that 3 right there. I was about to ask David, we get like a bonus to enigmas as a result of having the chimera totem, right?
once you get the chimera as a totem, yes.
Ah, okay. Sorry, I was reading the rule book.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I think I'll avoid accidentally rolling a negative success and just leave the roll as is.
Come on. No, okay, fair enough. So yeah, you all as a group put your collective notes together and remind one another of various details that you saw in the dream. And right there on Washington Lake, in the center of the lake, is this large island, and it's like miles long, right, and maybe a half mile wide. And the chimera was sitting on the shore of the bend in that on that island, and you all have a pretty good sense of if you're on that island, you're going to be able to find relatively the spot where you saw the chimera dip down and drink while the Leviathan was being transported over land.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, do we get the sense that this is like, like heavily populated like neighborhoods and stuff, or?
Yeah, so that spot is now called Mercer Island,
Mhm.
and it is a like settled bit of land. There's neighborhoods there and all that kind of stuff. It's a like Oh, what is it? It's like a residential place, with like schools and crap. It's not businesses, it's all residential. On at least that part of the island. Um, and probably some of you had been there for some amount of time, visited somebody on that island at some point. Um, but yeah, it would not be too difficult to drive there, quite frankly, um, and get down into those streets.
Okay. It sounds like a plan.
Okay.
All right.
You all load up into a car. Doesn't really matter which, because there's four of you. And you take Highway 90. You take 405 up to 90 over onto Mercer Island, and make your way south on that island. And like I said, there's some arterial roads that run north south, and then a lot of little like little neighborhood roads that come off of those three main arterial roads. Where you want to be is again right in the crescent of that island, and there's West Mercer Way is the big road that you're on, and a lot of little housing offshoots. Could park in any one of those, and think of all these houses as rather large, like two-story buildings. Like each one is probably a $1 million home kind of thing out here.
This is nice.
Yeah. And there's trees and stuff. It's still wooded, but just really nice houses in amongst the woods.
So where do we go?
So I mean, I kind of feel like we're just cruising up and down alongside the shore and trying to see if we recognize this place.
Okay. Yeah. So you probably have to park and then walk to the shore because there's not a road on the shore proper.
Mm-hmm.
So you turn down one of these residential roads and just park the car kind of on the side of the road, kind of deal, and make your way through the woods, through the rest of the little thicket of trees, and you're right there on the coast. The coast for this island is like, think of it as a really thin sandbar where like sediment has cropped up, but like it's not. I mean, it's like sidewalk thick, right? And there's probably some periods where there's not a sandbar and it's just like straight into the trees, kind of thing. So just depending on how that specific spot has eroded, but you're able to walk along this coast, and eventually you find the spot. You find where you saw that chimera dip its head down. The pine in your memory, those pines were much bigger than they are now. Clearly, this whole island has probably burned and regrown 100 times or 1,000 times since that spot in your memory happened. But either way, still pine growing here, and you have found the spot where you remember seeing it. It is a little, it's a little patch of beach, maybe here it's 15 feet wide, 15 feet before you get into the water, leading again up a kind of a steepish hill up into where the trees are and all the pine needles are on the ground and all of that good stuff. So you've got like a little outcropping where you're standing now.
Logan's gonna look at everybody. Go ahead.
Dakota would have sat down in cross-legged, and he would be abnormally quiet, right? And trying to focus in on the energy or the nature around him and see if he can't sense. And I will spill like, what do I need to roll for that to see if I sense anything? That's kind of what. And I'm in human form right now.
Yep. Are you looking to like sense things spiritually or sense things physically?
Spiritually.
Okay.
I'm trying to do the whole find the totem.
Yep. Understood.
Before you roll,
Mhm.
Logan was going to look at everybody, and whenever he sees he's sitting down, he was just going to nod, and he was going to sit down cross-legged with you and gesture to Karan and Riley to join them.
Karan will follow their lead. Not entirely sure of how any of this works, just kind of like doing exactly as they do.
And Logan would just say, just try and breathe deeply and just open yourself to honestly anything. This is weird.
Dakota would be
this
like
is gonna stay weird.
nature. Nature is what you want to open yourself up to.
Riley hasn't sat down, nor does she look like she's going to. In fact, she looks incredibly uncomfortable. I guys, I don't think I don't think I can. I can't do this. I don't think I can do this.
Dakota would nod his head and be like, okay.
That's okay.
All right. So
the three of you sitting and meditating, trying to reach out with the kind of innate spiritual essence that you carry with you. Why don't the three of you just roll your gnosis? So on the advantages tab, scroll down. There's the gnosis block. Just click on that sucker. And
pool mod.
No modifier for your pool. Oh, and look at Karan. Where did you go? There you are. Okay, we need to sort out your. Okay, no, you're good. You're good. That's accurate. And we'll go through and spend your freebie points at the end, so you can maybe get some boost here. But
sounds good.
Either way, let's go ahead and roll our gnosis for now and see how we do.
Doing so great.
Dude, Logan, man.
Doing so great.
Man.
Well, this is a group effort, right? You're all sitting here as packmates doing this exercise together.
Why did it roll twice?
Twice?
No. One of them was my roll. I don't see.
Well, I have my original roll. Oh, never mind. It came.
I think
in
that was
really
another
slow.
roll. Oh, okay.
Yep, that came in really roll.
Yep. So
Cool.
so all three of you are sitting here, and it's tough, right? Because like yes, the ocean breeze and the breeze in this lake are hitting you. You've got trees ruffling above. It is a serene and peaceful place, but then like it's still a neighborhood, so there's still like kids doing things. You know, you can hear their voices kind of creeping through the trees. You've got dogs barking and stuff like that. You're still very much in a residential area, so it is tough to kind of separate from all of the material problems and the material attachments that are around you, and to like reach out and feel any presence beyond the mundane. But Karan, you're sitting there, and just deep within your gut, you you feel a presence. You feel it almost comes as a weight on you. As soon as you kind of like get down and get situated, it's almost like there's something on your shoulders pushing you ever so slightly into a bit of a haunch as you're sitting here. And it's, you can easily shrug it off and get back into position. But as you sit here and continue to ponder and try and be open, again, you feel this like very gentle push on yourself, just on your shoulders and probably like shoulders and head. This very gentle presence.
I guess I'm going to try and like move around a bit, maybe like adjust my vision, see if I can't like make out the source of that pressure.
Yeah, you kind of look around and try and consider what it is that it could be, and then that presence um, eases, like you like it is no longer pushing against you, and you see the water immediately around you. Maybe the wind is dying down or something like that, but the water around you is getting calmer and is rippling much less. And the ripples that are there are those like big glassy waves that don't add to the surface tension. They're just like little undulations of the water. Um, and there's this very brief moment within as you're looking out across the water where you see this large orange shape, yellowish orange shape, reflected in the water, kind of towards you. None of you are wearing like orange jackets or anything like that. And then as the water undulates, that visage is gone.
As the reflection in the water kind of disappears, Karan, in his own mind, he seems to be in some kind of like a trance of sorts, and he worries that like speaking or like maybe moving too quickly might break him out of it. So he like very slowly turns towards the others and says, "I think I saw something move in the water. I felt something heavy, physical, but gentle on my shoulders. Is that it?"
Do you think it is?
I think it might be. I don't know. I couldn't really make out what I saw, and I'm not sure what I felt, but there's something here. What do
Didn't feel like
what do we do next?
What do
That's a
you
good question.
what do you felt this? What do you think is the next right thing to do?
There has to be a way to find out what it is I just saw. I mean, I don't think we can move on from this place until we've like reasonably gotten to like the bottom of that, right?
Correct.
I know I saw something. I know I'm not imagining things, and I know I felt something too. Didn't you all feel anything? Nothing.
No.
Mm-mm. This is my first time trying to do this. I'm just copying what I've noticed my grandmother doing, to be honest with you.
Honestly, I was just copying what you guys were doing. So how about that?
Riley would speak up from like where she's standing at a tree, arms crossed, looking uncomfortable. Use the water as a mirror.
As a mirror, but how do you mean?
Are you
sure
talking about
about that?
going to the Umbra?
I think you might have to.
Okay. And so Dakota would tell Karen, like, come here.
Karan will make his way over to Dakota, maybe sit a little closer to him.
Okay. The last time I did this, I just stared at my own reflection for an indiscriminate amount of time. And then next thing I knew, I was in the Umbra.
As
So,
the two of
just-
you are over by the water, you're peering into it. You move your heads over the water, right? Because you're trying to see your own reflections. And those like larger waves calm, and the water immediately around you becomes incredibly still.
Karan follows Dakota's directions and finds his reflection in the water, and almost like in a way like makes eye contact with it. He just like stares at it with complete rapt attention, just totally focused on it.
Okay.
And he while looking at it, he continues to speak to Dakota. Okay, well, what do I do now?
just focus on your reflection and concentrate. Trying to remember how I did it a month ago. I was concentrate on what you want to see.
As you're staring basically at your own eyes, right, in the reflection of this water. And as you are kind of listening to Dakota and trying to imagine moving forward with your spirit, right, with yourself, give me a gnosis roll
Sure.
to try and cross over. You too, Dakota.
Oh, lovely.
Hey, look at you.
And off we go again.
All right. So
Now I do hold real quick, David. I was looking at my like merits. I get a bonus dice for like Moonbound. Does that work in this scenario?
yeah, it's I think it is your moon. However, it's during the day, unless we want to be doing this at night.
Oh, sure. A bunch of us going into a neighborhood at night looking like we're about to go skinny dipping, probably not going to get the cops called on us.
Absolutely.
Based off of how last time went, probably actually skinny dipping.
Fair enough. No, all right, we'll do it in a day. So no.
All right.
Yeah. Seth, I don't want to be out at night. There's vampires and fairies now, apparently. So
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
They were spoken into lore.
Right.
Here we go.
So
Off.
Logan and Riley, you're both Logan. You're sitting, kind of watching them go through this exercise, and Riley, you're standing, right? Like I kind of see her as arms crossed or like maybe fidgeting a little bit, just like this is not okay.
Yeah, no, she doesn't think that this first part was okay. But and she was like arms crossed and leaning against a tree. But with those two poofing, she'll walk over to Logan. I said we shouldn't leave each other, so I'll go too. And then she'd offer a hand to help him up.
He takes it.
So the two of you move over to where they were.
Are there clothes right there?
Probably anything extra, like backpack, shoes, are just laying there. But the clothes you all have like bound to yourself, like your like shirt and pants, those all go with you all. So yeah, there's totally a pair of shoes and pocket change, whatever, sitting there on the ground.
Okay. Tried at the same time, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. The two of you, the wind had started to move again, and then as you both approach, it calms, and again that water, though it is undulating a little bit, begins to still around you. And go ahead and make your rolls. Make your gnosis rolls.
Why, Connor?
I
Why
know,
is it
right?
always me and not you?
Look,
Yep.
I had a really good combat session last time.
Yep.
But this time,
Same.
Roll20 is getting its revenge.
It is. It's so
I feel your
mean.
pain, dude.
It's so
I
mean.
feel you, dude. I feel it.
But it's always when the two of us are together trying to go into the Umbra. Apparently,
Yep.
we can't do it together.
Look. Failure is a blessing. It's where growth can begin.
That's right.
Wow. Okay.
Indeed. So, interesting notes about traveling through the gauntlet into the Umbra. For those who are doing this already, Dakota, you move through rather quickly. You peer into the water. You're seeing your own reflection, and it's as if your eyes themselves grow larger and larger until they pass you in your vision. And right as they were getting incredibly large, you noticed a face over your shoulder of a lion, the head and face of a lion over your shoulder watching you. And then you move through the gauntlet, which is this very incredibly uncomfortable sensation as your body and mind or spirit are being contorted and battered through this experience. And you kind of fight your way through, and when you're on the other side, you're still on this beach, and you see the image of Karan coming through, but not arriving yet, coming slowly.
Okay.
And then you see Riley coming through, and eventually you see Logan coming through as well. Story-wise, it is no longer interesting to make Logan roll. It's the way I see this, because Logan will get in. It's just what are the trials and tribulations? What is the mind state of Logan when he arrives? And I think we've established that, right? But you see all these people, and they're all moving slow. They're having to fight their way through, claw and all, to get through the gauntlet into the Umbra.
Okay.
So you have a moment where you are still staring at the water, and it's almost like having it's like when you're a kid and you didn't realize that your dad was over your shoulder, right? Like as a big physical presence over your shoulder. Maybe it's comforting, maybe it's not, right? But like all of a sudden you feel this presence behind you. And you turn, and the first part that you see is this huge anaconda-shaped head, like right here, just watching you as you turn, and it like makes eye contact with you, and slowly shifts so that it stays centered to your vision at all times, as it's like as it works like it has a mind of its own. It completely guides itself so that it stays in the center of your vision, and you feel drawn to maintain that eye contact even as you continue to turn and see the rest of this avatar of Chimera in front of you. As you see a lion's head, a goat's head, you see the head of a great lizard. All three are filling your vision, but always in the center is that anaconda. Its little tongue smells the air in front of
He will stay super still, but he will have a slight grin on his face and be like, "Hello," as he waits for and then just be like, if the pack is around, he'll be like, "Hey y'all," and
not
might
there
be
yet.
cool.
They're not there yet.
Okay.
They are
And then,
fighting their way through the gauntlet. You have a few moments by yourself with this being.
I would like to try to communicate with it.
Yeah, so you say hello. Right?
Yeah.
And the snakehead inches forward and says, "Curious." And it flips its tongue out again. And then it draws your vision.
Right.
And it gets closer to you and flips its tongue again and says, "You were lost, but yet here you are."
It says, we were lost. I was lost. I didn't catch that first part.
Yeah, it said you were lost. And it uses probably a form of you that's a little less like prescribed to you specifically, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah. And it says, "And yet I have found you."
Yes. We saw you in a dream and decided to seek you out.
I placed myself in your, which is my power.
Cool. He just kind of takes a breath, like,
And right then,
okay.
Karan, you come in, and you appear, and almost as soon as you appear, Dakota, the head of the snake, kind of does a quick movement, right? And Karan, it centers itself in your vision as well, and you're both kind of watching this snake head, and you can see past it. You can see that it is attached to this creature, and that it seems to have been in the middle of a discussion with Dakota. And it says, it flicks its big tongue out. It does like a big long tongue. It's really slow up and down as it senses the air. It says, "Another has arrived. Be curious."
Curious indeed. I get the feeling that whoever you are, whatever you are, you sought me and my friends here out rather than the other way around.
Just then, Riley, you appear, and much the same treatment. The snakehead moves to capture your attention, and it says, "Yes, you made a ripple. Follow where ripples lead, where they come from. Here you are, 3. Logan, you appear, and it moves to you as well.
Can I appear in the spiritual equivalent of falling on my ass?
Yes, I love it. I love it. Absolutely. You're like half in the water or something like that. Absolutely, yeah. And the head like moves up and to look down at you, kind of thing, as you're like on your back, probably exacerbated, looking up at this huge anaconda head, and it flicks that tongue out and smells you basically, and says, "Very curious that all of you, what does it say? It says, the first one is right. Placed myself into your dream. The second one, you are correct. I sought you out. As the 4 of you, sorry, it says, as 3 of you had impact, sensed it, followed it, found you. but something is drawing you to this place. Do you see what happened?
Do I see what happened here?
What it asks you.
What do I need to roll to see?
You could do intelligence enigmas if you're.
Okay.
Riley has completely not looked at this thing. Like, she saw it and then she completely averted her gaze from it, like is staring at the sand, or the equivalent. But she does say, the giant beast is here, or was.
It was. Been released. It is corrupted, flailing, lost, casting its children about. You saw it.
You mean
How did you see it?
I went to the Umbra and sought it out?
Curious.
Very. I'm a very curious individual.
Good. Casey, you did the your enigmas.
You said
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're pretty certain that it's asking about the like ancient history.
Okay.
And that it's confirming that you're aware of what happened in the back in the Pangea days, effectively, right?
Okay. Yeah.
It says you four are lost cubs. What is your goal?
To find out what we are.
And then the
To
snake
find
head,
out what happened.
like you answer, and the snake head moves to it will move to Karan.
I I want I need answers. There's too much about myself and about all of us, this condition, everything I've learned. It doesn't make sense, but I have to find a way to make it so.
The weight of the creature shifts as it like settles into the sand, and you can see as it like sits down and like shifts its weight as mounds of sand kind of come up and rest around its back haunches. And the snakehead moves to Riley.
Riley is not looking at it and is muttering something under her breath.
Okay. What is Riley thinking?
Riley is thinking that one should not worship false idols, and is in that vein.
Awesome. Perfect. The snake kind of like flits its tongue and like regards you for a moment, and then moves to Logan, who I assume has picked himself up by now.
She recoils in like fear.
Okay.
So it's looking at me. Did it?
Oh, it had asked a question earlier of what is your goal, and it's like pointedly trying to extract that from each of you.
I don't know what my goal is. I feel like a lot has changed. A lot is outside of my control, and trying to set a goal will be just trying to impress my will, to be trying to control that, to impose my ego.
The lion head speaks for the first time and has a deep, deep, confident voice and says, this is the first one that knows where it's at. And then the snake kind of looks back at it and does a and looks back at you and says, all great mysteries feel lost until they're uncovered. The goat head makes a tone, and you all kind of feel the emotive effect of it wanting to like encourage urgency on the snakehead. It's like, hey, let's get this moving forward, kind of thing. As the goat is done waiting on this the snakehead to do his business. The anaconda kind of draws back, and you can see the anaconda and the lion and the goat and the great lizard beast's heads as they each kind of look at each of you. The lion is probably regarding Logan, whereas the great lizard is probably regarding Karan. The snake is focused on Dakota, and the goat is watching Riley, who is not watching any of these. Right? Riley is like, needs to be over with. And the snake says, I seek the knowledge of what happened to your people. I seek to understand what wields such power, where that power resides.
I seek it as well, sir. Wow, that's me coming out as a person. Great spirit.
It kind of nods. There,
He's
for as long as that power exists, your kind cannot know peace, kind which has never known peace. But it has always been without despair. Now it seems you can only know it. Seek to guide you in this endeavor. It's what you want.
Dakota looks at Logan and then looks over looks at everyone else to try to get a read on how he should answer that. And
Karan will look at Dakota, and he will kind of like look down at his feet and then kind of like pick them up off the heavy wet sand, step a little closer to the beast in front of him, and regard the lizard face that looks at him, make eye contact with it. If you can help us find the answers that we're looking for, and if we can help you, I see no reason why we can't both stand to benefit from working together. If you wish to guide us, then I will allow myself to be guided by you.
The the uh, the lizard's face kind of shifts a little bit. You see the scales ripple against this fur, as it seems like there's a period where the heavy armor scales interact with the yellow lion fur, and almost like has an under pattern of scales as it shifts a little bit, and it regards you and says, "For us to help you, we must be bonded. You will be the hunters, and we will be the we will be the we will be the beast that the hunter rides."
Okay.
All right,
I will-
and how is this bond made?
You must spend a day with me here. Show you things. And upon the completion of that day, we will share a meal. Once that is done, we will be bonded. And the goat bleats. And you all get the like the emotive like response of like it's almost like it's acknowledging a sacrifice. Like it is what is it? So it's almost like saying you oh, what is it? It's like an emotion of like accepting sacrifice and loss, but still finding like peace in that. It's a very like nuanced emotion that like kind of waves over all of you, and you get the impression that it is the goat specifically expressing that that burst of emotion.
I will stay. And he walks closer to the serpent.
Now, this is a lot to take in for some of us. Do we have time?
The lion looks at you and says, "Bonds require consideration. It is wise."
And he just nods. He's tilting his head just a little bit toward Riley. But
it kind of shifts and picks up its hindquarters and takes like a step back, and says, "I'm a being of uncounted years. I will be here for some time. Return when you are ready."
Logan doesn't move first.
After a few pauses, it turns and walks away, kind of into the woods of the Umbra. The woods here are tall, thick trees. There's no houses. It's you can see into the woods. There's you know, like uh, birds, but you only see like frames of the bird flying through the trees, You see, like the blur of maybe like bobcats or something, some sort of feline stalking through the brush. This place is alive with spiritual activity, and then kind of behind you as the chimera steps away, you feel the presence of the city behind you, and it's this like high pitched pressure that's just like kind of hitting you in the back of the head. And you kind of look out across Lake Washington at the spirit of Lake Washington, I should say, as you see rising up out of the horizon is this huge like white scab of a city. These tall spires that are covered in webs, and some of the spires are truly gargantuan, much bigger than what exists in Seattle. And present on them are these truly massive gargantuan spiders just attached to the side of one of these skyscrapers. Head pointed down kind of thing, abdomen in the sky. And you can see like just this bone white, milky visage of spires and like interconnectedness of the space, and it towers up in complete contrast to this island that you're on, and just looking at it almost hurts the eyes, as it really kind of comes into your awareness for the first time since sitting here with the chimera.
Logan looks at everybody. Sorry, I just didn't want anybody to jump into anything that they weren't particularly ready for, I guess.
Thank you, Logan.
No, you were right to approach this how you did. I was maybe a little too eager for, how little I know.
Dakota doesn't say anything.
I don't want to put into anybody's mind that this is or isn't the right thing to do. I just...
Can we go back to Thea's?
Yeah. For
Like,
what it's...
if I
We
could
found...
Bamf out, I want to Bamf out, like, out of here.
Yeah, we found what we were looking for.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, Riley, you can leave almost immediately. I mean, there are going to be rolls and stuff, so there's like a period where she's trying to leave, but she will leave. And any of you who have anything else to do here, by all means do so. But I'm totally fine with Riley skipping out kind of as soon as she can.
as if she's been trying to will herself away for like the last 5 minutes or so. Yeah, that's probably accurate.
Is the chimera still in view as it walks away?
Is the what still in view?
Is the chimera still in view as it walks?
No, kind of as the city was coming back into your field of vision. That was as the chimera was leaving completely. It's still on the island and is here, but it has like stepped away far enough that you're not seeing it anymore. And whatever sense of focus it was exuding on this space has dissipated, as more and more aspects of the Umber are starting to fall into your periphery, into your perception.
Okay. I'll just go ahead and say I'll be the last one out.
I will wait.
Yeah, while I have Logan here, I will look at him and say, look, I know you might be a little unsure. I know you might be a little apprehensive, but maybe a little apprehensiveness is kind of what we need right now. I appreciate you being a little more thoughtful about this, and I hope I didn't seem like I was trying to pressure you into anything.
No. I think you're misunderstanding. I was sort of taught that we just need to accept what is, and clearly this is something important for us. I just want to make sure that everybody, and he's going to hang on the word everybody, is absolutely okay with doing this. If we're going to be popping into each other's streams and being as connected as he thinks we are, I don't want anybody to get, angry at anybody for making a rash decision.
Right. Yeah, of course. I guess we should all talk about this when we've gotten out of here and had a chance to kind of clear our heads.
Right.
I'll be like, I'll guide y'all back if you're ready to go.
Karan takes one more look at this bizarre, otherworldly, garish city, and looks at Dakota. Yeah, I think I'm ready to go.
I would almost feel like, Karan, you draw a slightly different perspective on this.
Okay.
It is as I described, with the bone white and webs everywhere, but probably Karan would also catch up on all of the pathways of interconnectivity between the spires, that they are clearly interlinked and that they are sharing information. You can see like movement of creatures or energy from one to the other, and that they bolster one another, and that there's some kind of there's something to that with the way that Karn, with the way that you interface with the world. There's something to that. Is like there's more to this than just scary webbing.
Okay. To kind of revise that little thing I just said, then maybe Karan will sort of hold up a hand to Dakota, and say, "Hold on a minute," and he's going to kind of observe the intricacy of the spires, the way they connect, the way things move, and he's going to try and make as vivid a mental note of it as he can. And still looking at this thing, he's going to say to Dakota, I think I'm ready to go now. But when he says it now, he's maybe slightly wistful about it, maybe almost a little regretful. And he tries to hang on to the image of the city as he goes.
All right. Don't stray too far.
And we'll have everybody come out, right? There may be some rolls and stuff like that, but the timing of all of you arriving and departing no longer matters for story purposes. So you all make it through the Umbra, through the gauntlet, back to the material plane, and Riley is there. Riley, it is still peaceful out here. It is solid terra firma like you remember, and you have a moment to yourself to kind of gather yourself before anybody else arrives.
I think her coat fell off, or something. She just pulls that on, and it's just big oversized coat, more for warmth than anything else, and she just pulls it on and just wraps it around herself super tight, and then just kind of steps back from the beach, but still, so when the others come out, she's in view, but just looking out at the water, kind of shivering, I think.
Yep. Yeah, the adrenaline dump and everything like that, right? Just that moment. Yeah. And you're all back in the real world.
So
Dakota will start walking without any acknowledge.
Okay.
He'll just start walking towards whatever. He is not amused right now.
Are you going towards the car, or are you gonna go like just for a walk by yourself?
I'm going down the road and trying to leave the area.
Okay.
Like, I don't even want to be in the car. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. So yeah, you head south. The car is a little north from where y'all are, and you get into the woods a little bit and start walking.
Yep. I'll be back. I just need to chill. Y'all can leave without me.
we'll
Riley
wait a
just
bit.
starts walking back to the car.
I guess I'll walk with Riley and say, "Hey, Riley, you good? You seem pretty shook up in there."
No. She like says no at first in like a really small voice, and then kind of coughs, clears her throat. Just felt weird. It's just weird, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, God, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's like I was too scared to be scared. If that makes
Right.
sense.
I mean, like fucking demons coming out of everywhere, right? Like, yeah, what the fuck? But no, I'm fine. I'm totally fine. Let's
Okay,
just get back to
sure.
Thea's.
All right. Well, if you say so. Well, I guess if you want to talk about it later, we could maybe do that if you're up for it, of course.
Yeah, maybe, we should probably discuss this.
Yeah. No pressure. Yeah. We'll all maybe talk about it together or something. It'll be chill.
Super chill.
Mm-hmm.
She just kind of pulls her coat tighter, and we'll go sit like in the back seat of the car, kind of staring out the window.
Do we want to wait on Dakota, or do we want to meet him at Thea's place?
I don't know. I get the feeling he wouldn't have walked off if he didn't want some space. So maybe we should just go and, I mean, do you have his number or something? Maybe you could text him to meet us there, and we could make that work.
Dakota, do I have your cell number, and do you have your cell on you?
Yes, I would have my cell, and yes, I would have given my cell number to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think our crew
Okay.
passed it. At least the three of us
Yeah.
passed it around last week. So.
Then yeah, I text you, or you get a message. We're heading back to Thea's place. Take your time. And then a couple of moments pass, and there's another text saying, "Sorry, this is taking a little bit."
You get a okay and a we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we
And
will.
those will be the two things you get back. And David, out of just curiosity, when we transform, do we lose all of our stuff, like our clothes and stuff?
So, okay.
No, it's just the answer that we should just have.
out of character, so out of game real quick.
Yeah.
By the rules, if you change form, go into the Umbra or any of that kind of stuff, your clothing and all of the stuff you carry with you stays behind.
Mm-hmm.
That really doesn't work. Right? So they have a ritual in the book called Rite of Talisman Dedication. where you can say, I want
Mhm.
to dedicate some objects to my person that will change with me, or at the very least be morphed into my fur when I'm in dog form, right? When I'm in lupus form,
Mhm.
will travel with me into the Umbra, right? Um, so for the longest time, there was always like, well, when you make your character, you have to like pick up 1 dot of rituals, so you can know that right,
Mhm.
and so you can have some clothing dedicated to you, so that you're not naked every time you come out of the Umbra or you change forms, right? Um,
Right.
I feel like that's a BS tax on players to say you have to
Mhm.
dedicate these points to this thing. So I just say you all get your clothes, right?
Cool.
You don't get all your junk, right? So like your pocket knife and your flashlight and your your everyday carry kit like gun or whatever. No, you get
Mhm.
like a shirt and pants, right? You get something so that you're clothed when you are no longer in war form or whatever other form, and whenever you come back from the Umbra, you have something on you, um, without having to pay the tax of the rituals and all that
Okay.
kind of stuff. That's just me house ruling. By the book, yes, you would all be naked unless you got that ritual, spent the time on doing all that stuff. Meh, right?
Cool.
It Yeah. So you'll when you change forms, your pants and shirt change with you, and when you're done, they are back out. They're back as they were.
Then I would transform into my lupus form, pick up my cell phone because you said junk and stuff in
Yep.
my mouth, and start running towards Theo's house.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. You run through that island, catch the bridge over. There's a walking portion of the bridge, and you're able to make your way back.
Cool. I would assume I'm the last one there, right?
Most likely, yeah, because the car's just gonna be way
Yeah.
faster than you.
Gotcha.
Even though you don't have to worry about like obeying road laws, it's still just faster.
Right.
um,
So I would show up, and at this point, I'm more level-headed,
yep.
and I would go look for Logan.
So you all arrive back at Thea's, right? The
Yep.
3 of you were driving straight there, right?
Mhm.
Logan and crew. Thea is probably out on her front porch. Um, she probably has like a 22 rifle across her hip, um, and is kind of rocking in a chair, and sees you all get out. And you've seen her have that before. Um, it's like I don't know, a weevil or a weasel vole hunting thing. It's not like Katie gets shotgun. It's like she's sitting out here, kind of like watching everything, and uh, is trying to get rid of a mole problem. What you think is going on here? Um, as you all drive up, she gives a warm smile, seeing you all return.
Um, I think Riley is kind of just hasn't said anything and is just kind of maybe shell shocked a bit. Um, so she would probably just nod to Thea, or not even, maybe not even that. Um, take off her coat, hang it where she normally does, and get the blanket that she tends to like cloak herself in, and sit down on the couch, just kind of that like 5 yard, 50-yard stare or whatever.
Yeah, like a is it like a knit blanket? Like somebody knitted a big blanket, and that's what Riley's grabbing.
Yeah. Like,
Perfect.
family heirloom or whatever, but yeah, from Thea's family.
Right. Sure. Yeah. Perfect. Awesome. Yeah. So you're in this like probably
Big
off
Afghan.
white. Yeah. It's like this probably off white with a bit of patterning to it, and bundled up on the couch, trying to just be in comfort for a moment.
Yeah.
Uh,
Thumbs up.
Thea doesn't like. She nods at you and like probably expresses a look of concern, but doesn't dive
It's almost
into
like
it.
she's not there.
Yeah.
Like Riley, who would normally say something to her, just walks past.
Yeah.
Yeah, Logan's gonna find a spot on the porch to just like sit and be looking out for Dakota.
Where does Karan go?
I think he's going to go inside and try to put this out of his mind in the meantime by just like focusing on his like regular work and stuff. So, the moment he gets inside, he's just diving into his computer.
Awesome. And so while you're out there with Thea, she sits back down in her rocking chair and kind of rocks back and forth. Says, "No Dakota, huh?"
No, he wanted to clear his head for a little bit. We found what we were looking for.
Was it what you were looking for, or?
I think. I mean, we found the Chimera, but.
Oh. Wow. What was that like?
It looks over at Riley. Looks back out into the woods.
Gotcha. Okay then. If you don't mind, I'll wait here with you for Dakota.
And he'll nod.
Yeah, you all rest for a while. Probably an hour later, Dakota, you show up. Just based on like how far south you would have had to run after crossing the bridge. We'll call that an hour, right? Because that would have been like miles.
Right.
And you are a dog, so you're going fast, pretty dang fast, right? But it just takes time, right? To run all that way. So you show up later, right?
Okay. Yep.
And you come ambling up the like gravel road that goes up to her house. And you see Logan and Thea sitting on the porch.
I would start transforming back.
Okay.
And I would walk up to Logan and sit down on the step below him and be like, we had an opportunity to start getting answers.
We still have that opportunity.
Luckily, we could have straight disrespected that spirit. I might not be as versed in this, but I know what we don't do is disrespect an offering from a spirit. Luckily, he seems to be, or it, or whatever it is, seems to be understanding and very powerful. Maybe I'm taking to this a little too quickly. But aren't you curious on what happened? Why are we picked?
Yes. And I was ready to accept it as well.
Then what stopped you?
Glances over at Riley. Why don't we all talk about this? All of us. Karan, Riley.
Yeah.
Thea stands up. I think I'll go hunt moles some other day. I'll leave the porch to you. She goes inside and makes herself scarce.
Riley takes her blanket and goes back out on the porch to where Thea was sitting. and takes that seat.
I was just saying. And he says with a grimace smile, we had an opportunity to start finding answers. And we walked away. And luckily for us, he did not take that as a sign a sign of disrespect. And we might have never got that chance again. Why did we walk away? I need to know.
Because I was scared. And Logan did the right thing for me, which was to give me time. Because I was terrified, Dakota. Is that the place you wanted me to be to make a decision like that? Is that how this pack is going to work?
No.
We do things together or we don't do them at all. I needed time and Logan gave it to me.
He takes a breath. He's like, all right. All right. Be warned. I'm just saying. We cannot. When we summon spirits, from what I understand, from what my grandmother has taught me, we have to be ultra respectful towards them. Why are you shaking your head? It's a thing. This is where we're in. This is our life now. Maybe, again, as I told Logan, maybe I've taken to this too quickly. I will defer to the group, and I will defer to Logan. So,
I respect that. And yeah, I mean, clearly you do take to this very, very quickly. You know a lot more about these spirits, or at least you know a lot more about a version of spirituality that I will probably never catch up to. Thankfully, you're correct. Thankfully, the Chimera was understanding and did give us more time. What are we going to do with that?
my suggestion is that all of us meditate and really think about this. I already know what my answer is. You heard it on the beach. And again, I'll defer to the group. Take this time to really think if this is a world that you want to be in.
That was in character. Logan just sort of exhales sharply and smiles.
I think we're already in this world, whether we chose to be in it or not. It's just a matter of how we come to terms with it. With Dakota, if this thing is our chance to get some answers, some real answers, get to the bottom of whatever it is we are and why we were made this way, I'm for it. I'm ready to talk to this thing again.
Look, I did not feel right on the beach when we were seeking the Chimera. I went into the Umbra because we do things as a group. And I was already having sensations on the beach. And then I got there and there was a serpent looking me dead in the face. One should not pray to false idols. And we sat on that beach and you guys did that. And then we went into the Umbra and there's a serpent. I was scared. Wasn't expecting that. I want to find answers too. I want to know what is going on with us. I just didn't know that's what was going to be there, but now I know what to expect. I was scared. We're allowed to still be scared, right?
I think all of us are more than a little scared by all of this. And Dakota and I might be eager to jump into things, but now you reconcile what you saw with what you knew before, what you believe. We can't tell you how to feel about any of this. And we can't push you into a decision you don't want to make, but when you feel like you have found a way to make this work for you, when you feel like you have come to a point where you can make a decision, we'll be behind you no matter what. Aside from just the Chimera bringing us all together, Dr. Albright brought us all together deliberately, and no matter what decision we make with this Chimera thing, no matter how this plays out, we've got to have each other's backs.
I agree. I mean, I agree. Look, I know I fucked this up.
You didn't fuck anything up.
Dakota would be like, no, you didn't. He takes a deep breath. You are right. And you need to feel okay with doing this, because another thing is if you don't come with the right energy, it can go really bad as well, as what I was taught. So take the time you need. I'm sorry. My curiosity got the best of me. And I was also terrified. My curiosity, though, override that, and I do apologize. So, just let us know. And if you need any help, I can do my best. If you need any help with this whole spirit side of things.
Okay. Thanks.
No problem.
I think Riley's just looking anywhere that's not at the group.
Yeah, you see a little mole, like pushing its like little mound of dirt through the thing as it continues to push along the ground.
That would catch Dakota's attention and be like,
Yep.
No, not right now.
Yeah.
In his mind.
Grew up in the church, did you?
Something like that.
Me too.
Maybe we should compare notes.
I wasn't a very good note taker. That's why haven't really gone back since my boyfriend and I moved out here.
Gotcha.
But
Yeah. You take to it better than I do, I guess. Or I did. Thank you for standing up for me.
I mean, do you still believe?
No, I don't think so. But when it's the thing that you've learned for years, and you're faced with it, I think you fall back. At least I did. That was the only thing I could think about. I guess I need to come to terms with that.
I have feelings about it, but I try to be as accommodating for everybody in my classes. Whenever everybody's like is sort of there, just present. Everybody, it's supposed to be a spiritual experience, whatever that may be for somebody. Maybe they're feeling the earth if they believe that Gaia. Maybe they do believe and are taking in his grace or something like that. Sometimes maybe you're just being very present with yourself if you don't.
Yeah.
I just people's beliefs, people's truths. Who are we to say what's right or wrong? But we're kind of being forced into something that's just really hard to believe. And we have to make the best of it when we can. That's not easy. That's really hard.
How
But
do we start to believe something we've only seen for 3 or 6 months when we've grown up with, well, for me, the complete opposite. Spirits, chimeras, beasts of legend, like this is so opposite to what I've been taught that I thought that I forgot, wanted to. Just give me a few days and then we can go back and I will be okay, I promise.
of course, I mean, all we can do is really be patient with ourselves and with each other. Nothing remarkable happens easily.
Thanks,
This is
Leslie.
certainly not easy.
I thought it was, at least for a bit. Thank you.
Do you need a hug?
Yes.
Okay. And he'll reach in.
She'll give him a hug.
I feel like this is a good beat to end the session on. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I didn't know exactly when was the right moment, but that felt like the right moment. Guys, this was really good. Right? This is like without like a lot of guidance, this is what happens. Right? It's messy. and there's a lot of coming to terms. I think that's really good. So, thanks all four of you for doing this and getting into this. Like, this was really great. Audience, everybody at home, thanks a ton for tuning in. We are going to sign off here. We're going to do some XP and that kind of stuff, some of the bookkeeping things like that offline. I would love to bring our happy little band of viewers to a friend, somebody we could raid.
A friend.
Misfits.
I got Slapdash, So Maddie, Cave Geek Art. I don't see any jabronis on.
Yeah, I don't see any of those guys either.
Quick, somebody tell Ethan get on.
Yeah, right.
It's Kylan streaming,
Never.
right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
she rated us.
She rated us. 'Cause
Oh, yeah,
she's-
that's true.
she's
She
a-
did rate us.
She's a hero, is what it is.
I've got R Justice 282.
Will you
Who
toss that
is-
into the chat? I'll nab that.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching, Liz and Jay. We
Yeah. Thanks everyone
appreciate
for
it.
Guys.
joining us on this like heavier werewolf session. That was really good.
Sorry that it got heavy.
No. This is
Oh.
like this is perfect. Like, we gotta, character backstories have to matter,
Mm-hmm.
right? Otherwise, why have them? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, this was phenomenal. All right, let me go pull up stuff.
You too, Liz. Have a good night.
Yeah, thank you all so much. We are going to hit the raid button on Justice 282 here. Everybody, please give them some love, give them some likes and all that good stuff, or emojis in the chat, as you will. And we'll be back with this next month in November, picking up where we left off.
I like this game too much, David. I was like, I know we're all busy as
Oh.
hell, but
Yeah.
I know we're all busy as hell.
Yeah, I really love Werewolf. So this was fun. This was really fun to get to like have you guys meet a totem. That's something that is always fun and jarring and special. So it's all great. All right. So everybody at home, thanks a ton. Again, we're gonna send you over to this lovely channel. As always, have fun and play well.
May all your rolls be crits.
All right.
Connor, that was horrible.
What did you do? I missed it.